A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a groundbreaking diplomatic move, U.S. President Donald Trump met with Syria's Interim President Ahmad al-Sharaa on May 14, 2025, marking the first encounter between leaders of the two nations in a quarter of a century. This significant meeting took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, during Trump's gathering with the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC. The backdrop of this meeting is crucial, as Syria is still grappling with the aftermath of over 5 decades of authoritarian rule by the Assad family. The context is further complicated by al-Sharaa's controversial past, including his ties to al-Qaeda and his previous role as an insurgent leader fighting against U.S. forces in Iraq before the Syrian conflict erupted. This meeting not only symbolizes a thaw in U.S.-Syria relations, but also signals a potential shift in the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. Trump announced that the U.S. would lift economic sanctions on Syria, which have been in place since the late 1970s due to the country being designated a state sponsor of terrorism. Prior to the civil war that began in 2011, Syria was already struggling under a tightly controlled socialist economy, exacerbated by these sanctions. The lifting of sanctions is intended to provide Syria with a fresh start, as Trump stated during his address to the Gulf Cooperation Council. He emphasized the need for Syria to seize this opportunity for greatness, claiming that the previous sanctions were crippling. The meeting was conducted behind closed doors, with no reporters allowed to witness the discussions. However, Trump later praised al-Sharaa, describing him as a young, attractive guy with a strong past and a fighter. This meeting is particularly noteworthy as it comes at a time when al-Sharaa has recently been appointed as interim president, following a successful offensive by insurgent groups that resulted in the ousting of the Assad regime. Al-Sharaa's ascent to power is viewed with caution by many, including longtime U.S. ally Israel, which remains skeptical due to his extremist past. The Israeli government has expressed concerns regarding the swift recognition of the new Syrian leadership, fearing potential cross-border attacks. Meanwhile, the Gulf Arab leaders have shown support for al-Sharaa's government, viewing it as a counterbalance to Iranian influence in the region. Trump's administration is under pressure to ensure that Syria takes steps to stabilize the country, including the need for al-Sharaa to recognize Israel diplomatically and to expel foreign terrorist elements from Syrian territory. The White House has indicated that Trump urged al-Sharaa to take responsibility for detention centers housing Islamic State fighters, a crucial aspect in the ongoing fight against terrorism in the region. As the reconstruction of Syria is estimated to cost over $250 billion, al-Sharaa is keen on securing sanctions relief to revitalize an economy devastated by years of civil war. The lifting of sanctions is seen as a vital step towards rebuilding the war-torn nation. The EU has already begun to ease some of its sanctions, with French President Emmanuel Macron recently hosting al-Sharaa in Paris, labeling the sanctions as an obstacle to Syria's recovery. As this historic meeting unfolds, the implications for U.S.-Syria relations and the broader Middle East remain to be seen. The international community will be watching closely to determine whether this new diplomatic engagement will lead to lasting peace and stability in a region long plagued by conflict. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.